Outlaw Law is brought to you by Whitaker and Hamer, attorneys and counselors at law. Your law firm for life.
Welcome back into the Outlaw Lawyers. Josh Whitaker and Joe Hamer, your hosts. They're the managing partners. Whitaker and Hamer Law Firm, the power behind the program. They're practicing attorneys here in North Carolina. Offices conveniently located Raleigh, Garner, Clayton, Goldsboro, Fuquay-Varina, Gastonia, and Morehead City. Cassandra Nicholas, also an attorney with Whitaker and Hamer, joining us from that Morehead City office. I'm Morgan Patrick, consumer advocate. Each and every week it is about legalese, different topics. You're going to have questions about maybe a situation you're going through and you need answers. You can always call the firm, 800-659-1186. That's 800-659-1186. And you can email your questions to the show, questions@theoutlawlawyer.com. And Josh, you've got something you want to offer up. Is that correct?
Yeah, we haven't done this before, Morgan, but what I wanted to do is offer our listeners a chance. We give out our number. We do have a lot of listeners call us just to give us some things to talk about, or we have listeners who call us because they have a legal matter, and we end up trying to help them settle that up. But what I think we're going to do today is something new. So we're going to do the first 5 listeners that call in with a legal matter. We're going to offer them a free 15-minute consultation, right? So for our consultations, a lot of times we'll charge upwards of $300 an hour, depending on what the matter is. And so what we want to do today, we want to encourage our listeners to call in. The first 5 that call in with a legal matter that we can advise on, we're going to offer a free, by phone or by Zoom or what have you, a free 15-minute consultation. So, Morgan, let's give everybody that number again.
Absolutely. 800-659-1186. That's 800-659-1186. And you can leave your contact information and briefly what the call's about. And if you're one of the first 5 to call right now, again, that's a 15-minute consultation, and that is no cost, no obligation. So, folks, take advantage.
Yeah, like I said, we haven't done that before, but when you call, let us know what you're listening to us on, how you if you download the podcast or you listen to us on one of the radio stations that we're on across the state of North Carolina. We want to just connect with you, learn how you learned about us, and then, like I said, if you've got a legal thing that we can handle, if you got a legal matter that we can handle, we'll certainly get you in the right direction, consult with you, kind of get our hands dirty, helping you out with that legal situation. So we're always happy to do that. But if you want super duper free legal advice, I saw this story a couple of times over the holidays, legal chatbots serving as attorneys, taking the bar. I saw all these different articles. Joe, have you read about this?
I have, Josh. I have read about it. I'm very familiar with the chatbots in general. I hadn't looked at the legal aspect of it until I got your script for today's show, and that prompted me to look at it. Very interesting stuff, man. Like you said, free, a great bargain. And in my research that I've been doing since we started talking about this in the last few minutes, it seems the chatbots are ridiculous. Like, if you haven't messed around with the Chat GPT, it's OpenAI, it's free, anybody can do it. You basically type to it, tell it anything that you want, and it will spit it out in real time with alarming accuracy, man. It's nuts. But I hadn't thought about that legal application of it, and it sounds like, Chat GPT probably being the one that people are most familiar with isn't great with the law, doesn't have a lot of legal knowledge, but it sounds like there's some companies that are trying to teach it the law and kind of mold it into your AI lawyer, like you said.
Cassandra, you were telling me a little bit about this.
Yeah. So I'm in a text group with other attorneys I went to law school with, and they're really into the Chat GPT. They've been enjoying just playing around with it, and they've been doing some first drafts of their response emails for work with it as well. So it's definitely got some useful applications. You can also get flagged in it for asking it things that it doesn't think you should be asking it. They've run into that several times. But
what are they asking it? Good Lord. What are your friends from law school doing?
They're just testing. The internet was really buzzing about it last night. The Chat GPT went down
It's
the
still
first
down right
time.
now. I'm trying to
Is
pull it
it
up so
really?
I can just have it tell me what to say and I can go on autopilot, but it's not working, man.
I haven't played
Yeah.
with it. I haven't played with it at all. You know, at the firm, for our real estate transactional practice, we do have an AI chat bot that assists us in communicating with all the different parties involved in a real estate transaction. So we've talked about it on the show before, but we have Jarvis, who is our not. I mean, I guess that's not a very original name.
He's a very friendly robot, though. Not like your Terminator robot.
Look, man, you know, I saw a story. It was like the middle of summer last year where they created like a tissue. I'm gonna say it was like a living. I can't remember, but what I took away from the story was like a living robotic tissue that could replicate itself. And I was like, man, Terminator.
That's Terminator.
We've all seen Terminator.
That's Terminator.
And then we keep talking about this artificial intelligence, you know, and like how it's growing by leaps and bounds.
What was the company in that? Was it Skynet?
Skynet, yeah.
Skynet.
And then wasn't Cyberdyne? Was that like an offshoot? I don't know, man.
I don't know. I remember Skynet. Well, Skynet, back in the day when we had pagers, I thought Skynet was one of the first pager companies. Was that not the case? Am I wrong there?
No,
Morgan, do you remember?
I'll do some research for you if I need to.
I feel like when
I'm
I got
not
my
familiar.
I feel like when I got my
Pager company.
I feel like when I got my first pager, the company I paid my $6 a month to for my pager was Skynet.
Cyberdyne's who created Skynet in the Terminator franchise. I knew that was a name. I'm going to look up Skynet for you.
I've heard of Sky Best. That's kind of that's a system that's out west in the mountains of North Carolina.
And again, I don't know if the more youthful attorneys here with me know, but there used to be a Father MC song. I don't know if you're familiar with Father MC, but it was "Beat Me and I'll Beep You Back." That was the name of the song. It was
Beat me and I'll beep you back?
Beep.
Okay.
It was
better. I like that better.
It was a pager related hip hop song.
I'm more familiar with the Kim Possible theme song.
Oh, gosh.
Call me, beat me if you want to reach me.
Hey, you know it used to be a thing that was really cool, man, is when we had the Nextels. That might have been after your youth.
I
it
missed
was
the
real
Nex-
big in my youth. But it kind of
the
combined
walkie-talkie.
yeah, exactly. That's what the people had. And you wouldn't call, you'd beat people instead. And that was a cool thing. Died out pretty quick.
I remember being in high school and then like
That's good.
yeah. I remember way back in the day when I was in high school, I remember getting a page and having to ask to go to the bathroom so I could go to the payphone bank and return my page.
Jeez, man.
That was a thing that used to happen.
I remember pagers, but it was a little past my time. Like, I remember them, but I never had to utilize one.
Yeah.
So,
Anyway.
But the legal aspect of this,
Yes.
the legal chatbot, the one that's getting attention right now is called Do Not Pay. It's been a thing since 2015, and they've used like the generated text to like get discounts or refunds from like a Comcast bill and from airlines. But their first case in court is next month for a traffic ticket. My understanding with those ones is that it's like pro se folks going in on their own, and they're just going to have the headphones in, and the company has agreed that if the bot loses, the company will pay their traffic fines. So it's low risk.
it's a win-win, man.
Right?
I'm going to go speed.
But Do Not Pay just tweeted 3 days ago that Do Not Pay will pay any lawyer or person $1 million with an upcoming case in front of the U.S. Supreme Court to wear AirPods and let our robot lawyer argue the case by repeating exactly what it says.
We got to get something before that Supreme Court, man. That sounds like a good gig.
Look, man.
They followed it up with another tweet. We are making this serious offer contingent on us coming to a formal agreement and all rules being followed. So I don't know how they'll like make that comply with Supreme Court rules.
Yeah, I feel like you get disbarred. I feel like that's a fast track to getting disbarred.
You get that cool $1 million from the robot people, though.
Yeah, well, yeah, I guess you would, but that would be a tough. I don't know. I'm sure there's a lot of uses. You know, I came up as a journalism major. That was my undergrad degree. I was kind of a journalism student, and even as I was coming up, there were already like programs. You know, they were already testing programs that like would spit out like you put in the score of a game, you put in the box score of a game, and it would spit out the story, right? So you'd make your back when
That's very real right now.
Yeah.
Like there's a lot of sports blogs that are nothing but that, just AI spitting out articles and then just clickbaiting people into clicking on them. And making money doing that, you know?
I guess I didn't realize how far along it was getting. I read an article. It was like I don't know what chat bot exactly it was, but I read an article where a chat bot had passed at least the Virginia bar exam. In theory, like they gave it, somebody got an old copy of the bar exam. I think it was Virginia, but gave it to this chat bot and it did enough to pass, I guess.
I believe it.
Weird.
It is weird.
There are students turning in papers written by the chatbots too. And another student who I'm sure the other students really love created an app to allow the teachers to run the papers through it to determine if a chatbot wrote it or not.
It's like the ultimate brown-nosing kid, man.
Mm-hmm.
Miss Johnson, I'm going to fix this for you.
Why do that?
Just because you earn brownie points with the teacher, man. What other reason is there?
Yeah, because I read that too, that they were the chatbots were producing this for students of varying degrees. They were producing stuff that was so hard to detect, right? Because it's not. Anyway, it blows my mind. Like if that was I would have to think if that was available when I was in school. I'd like to think I would still do all my.
It'd be tempting, man. I mean, even if you just get a start, right? Like what? Here's my argument for it, right? You got to write a paper on something, right? What do you got to do? You got to do research. Is it that different from doing? I mean, it's doing the research for you. Like, I don't know, man. It's a lazy perspective. Obviously, you're not taking it verbatim, but like, what else is it? But it's searching through the internet. It's pulling information that you otherwise would be pulling yourself in a more efficient manner. That would be my argument.
I don't know that. I don't think that works.
Against that kid.
Yeah, I don't think that works.
You don't think so?
No, but I can't. It's crazy to me. Like, we've all seen Terminator. I don't know why we're on such a. I feel like if I make it another 30 years, like the firm, like a 30 years from now, we could be hiring our first Terminator
We're
lawyer.
getting it. 1,000,000%, man. You mark my words. We will be on the cutting edge of having a Terminator lawyer.
Have you seen those robots that like will serve you at restaurants? Like they have like a screen head and they take you. I think we should do one of those, but put this chat thing in it and just like put it in consultations.
Yeah, I'd love, or
That
just
sounds great.
yeah. I'd like to have robots that we just don't go into the office. We go to the beach with Cassandra, and then iPads on a robot just roll in with our face. We do everything remote while we're boogie boarding.
Right.
The people would love that.
We can become older, chubbier professional boogie boarders.
Yes.
This stuff is crazy. It's just crazy to me. You know, I feel like we should all take a break. Like as a society, we should. I think we should go back to pagers. I think we should be the law firm where like no one has cell phones. We only have pagers.
Yeah, people beep us.
Yeah.
And we don't even call them back. They have to beep us Morse code, and then we'll beep them back with it.
No, I'll call you back if you add 911 to the page.
Yes,
right.
That's what they used to do.
That's how you know it's an emergency 911. But what else? I thought there was something else on that, but and we're part of the problem, I guess. You know, all this started. I won't name the company, but all this started with there's a big industry on what would you call it? Self-service legal documents. How would you word that?
That's fine. I think you did a good job.
Okay.
Yeah.
Which, we're not a big fan of, right? We're attorneys. We think that, attorney needs to know your specific situation, where you live, where you own property. We can talk about that a little bit more when we get to our estate planning section of today's show. But this is all real cool and interesting that it works and that it can happen.
Urge caution. Is that where you're going?
Yeah. Where does it go, man? Where does it go from here? Like, it's helping kids cheat, right?
Mm-hmm.
It's, if it's got a good use, I guess that's good. But people don't usually use this stuff for good things, right? They usually use it for shortcuts, and I don't know, man.
It's advancement. It's efficiency. I'm sure a lot of the things that we take as a daily thing, like spell check or something. I don't know.
Yeah, our kids' lives will be way different than ours.
Mm-hmm.
You fast forward 20 years into the future, and
we're all hiring
our minds would be blown. Our robot's mind wouldn't be blown because it's going to know the deal about everything.
Hey, before
I like the idea of the advancement. It's on its way.
Yeah, I was just going to say, before we get to robots, we do have 5 positions we're going to open up, and it's a 15-minute consultation. Josh, tell us a little bit about how that's going to go for these 5 callers.
All right. I already forgot about that. Yeah. that's what we're doing this week. We've never done it before. I don't know if we'll ever do it again, but for this week, the first 5 listeners that call in and have a legal problem, need legal help, we'll do 15-minute free consultations, right? So that's the first 5 people that call in. You got to tell us what your legal issue is. You got to tell us how you listen to us, how you found us. And then if you're one of the first 5 people to do that, we'll call you back and we'll set up a time to talk to you in person, by phone, by Zoom, whatever works best for you, and see if that's something that we can help you with, Morgan. So what's the best way for folks to get in contact with us?
Okay, once again, no cost, no obligation, 15-minute consultation. If you've got some kind of legal situation you're facing and you need answers, call this number now, 800-659-1186. That's 800-659-1186. Leave your contact information, obviously briefly what the call's about, and an attorney will be in touch with you. And again, the first 5, this is a free consult for 15 minutes on your situation. You're listening to the Outlaw Lawyers, Josh Whitaker and Joe Hamer. They are the managing partners, Whitaker and Hamer Law Firm, practicing attorneys here in the great state of North Carolina. Offices conveniently located in Raleigh, Garner, Clayton, Goldsboro, Fuquay, Varina, Gastonia, and Morehead City. And again, Cassandra Nicholas, an attorney with Whitaker and Hamer, joining us from that Morehead City office. When we come back on the other side, we're going to get into estate planning. That's all next on the Outlaw Lawyer.